Hello, hello, hello. Check, check, check. Can you hear me? I'm going to do a rookie move, make sure the other side is muted. So give me a little bit, but welcome. I'm glad you're here with me on a Wednesday night, episode 54 of Keeping It Shrimple. Wait, let's see.
With me on a
Aha,
Wednesday
I got it.
night episode.
Wait, there it is. All right. Sorry about that. Rookie move. I know, I know. Feel like I haven't done it in forever. It's only been 2 weeks. I'm excited about tonight's topic and a little bit intimidated. But at the same time, it's something that happens to everybody. And I kind of I know why. I think I know why it happened with me, but hopefully we'll talk it out a little bit. We'll see what I did. Um, and just talk about some shrimp and aquariums and plants. And I want to show you this aquarium I have over here because the plants have really filled in nicely and they're doing really good. It's a beautiful tank. It's not like a shrimp purist tank. Like it's not clean and very little. It's full of plants and driftwood and shrimp and plecos. Well, there's only two plecos, but it's a beautiful tank. Anyways, so I want to say hello to everybody. Frank Basanta, as usual, first in. Good evening. Mississippi Hippie. I love shrimp. Pimping shrimp. My arms are wet. You're doing water changes. Greg's Planet Tanks. Hello. Craig Donaher. Hello. Vibes Aquatics. What's cracking? I mean, shrimping, right? What's shrimping? Daniel Velez. Hello. I love shrimp. Woohoo. Red Laser. Laser. Who's next? Dennis. Hello. Hello, shrimp lovers. Bunny Viper. Hello. Hi, everyone. Be right back. All right. I was running around doing stuff, making sure I kind of had things ready for tonight's stream. So I wasn't on YouTube or anything. Uh, I have to admit, I've been watching Survivor. I've been binging on it like crazy. So, I mean, I never watched it before, so it's basically like 43 episodes of Survivor that I'm catching up on, and I like it. It's fun. It's adventure. Woo! Hey, Papa Shrimp Gravy. Ricky De Hoyas. Peplin, what's up? I love shrimp. Lady Rorschach. Already hit the like button. Awesome. Hit that thumbs up, share. If you know anybody that's just sitting around, text them. Say, hey, go check out this stream. Get on here, have some fun. Maybe we'll learn something. Maybe we won't, but we're gonna have fun anyways. I will. Hope you do too. Hope everybody had an awesome Thanksgiving. Sorry I didn't stream last week. It was one of those things where I really wanted to, but at the same time, my son was here with me, and I kind of just wanted to chill with him. And of course, there was a hockey game on at the same time. My favorite sports team, Dallas Stars. Go Stars! So we had to catch that game, and it was an awesome game. It really was. It was fun to watch. So I apologize for that, but it's kind of like a Thanksgiving tradition with me and my son, and so we stuck to it. Rob, what's up? Rob Bloomfield from Shrimp Envy. I love shrimp. Good to see you. Freaky Fish Lady, hello. Gary's Fish Room, hello. Hey, Gary. Yeah, it's your plecos that I have in here. I still have them. They're all doing good. And you know what? They're doing good in soft water, which I know you told me, no, 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 don't do soft water, but I did. And they're all doing great. I saw something. Metalhead, what's up? Ooh, you made a short? Cool. I'll go check it out. Who else? Who else? Jeff Kane. Good to see you. Metalhead. Bang your head. Man, I miss some of the old metal music. I mean, new metal music is okay, but I'm an old fuddy duddy, so I'm kind of stuck in the 90s, 80s and 90s metal. Still can't find my TDS pen. Oh no. Hey Matt, what's up? That's why they call me Big Papa. What did I put for my name this time? Did I put it up there? Oh, it's just Papa Shrimp Jerry. I can change that, can't I? Look, let's edit name just for the fun of it. There we go. Brandon, what's up? Good to see you. Amazon Research Center for Ornamental Fishes. That's a tongue twister. What's up, Doc? How you doing? Poseidon's Pets. Woohoo! Thank you for bringing the crowd. I was wondering. I didn't get a chance to catch your stream, so thanks for bringing everybody over. I know you may run a couple of minutes late. No problem. I have no issues with it. I sometimes do the same. Good to see you. Hashtag Poseidon's Pets. Woohoo! I haven't been very diligent with my video making. I've got so much content. I was going through my files today because I put together a short video that I'm going to share with you because I thought about putting a full video together about what I'm doing, but instead I just kind of did a short little step by step so you could see kind of, because I still have a ways to go. So, and I know I'm doing it wrong. So all of you can laugh at me, make fun of me, point fingers, but I know I'm doing it the hard way. It's just me. For this particular case, especially because I had so many shrimplets in the tank, I'm being real careful not to lose any. So yeah, hard way. Tim Gazzetti, good to see you. Thank you, Kyle. Yes, everything is well, health wise, as much as it can be. It's it's quite a ride. I'll tell you that much. Just glad to be here. Let's see, Jamie. Hello, good to see you. Who else? Yellowstone. Woohoo! I love shrimp t-shirts. I know. I have a link. I have it listed in the description for the I love shrimp t-shirts. I only have one that I got for me, and I accidentally ordered the wrong size. So that one's reserved for SC Catahoulas. I haven't sent it out yet. And I owe you, Doc, a Keeping It Shrimple shirt. I still have that right there. I haven't sent out yet. So it's coming. It's coming. I promise. I know. I'm terrible. Yellowstone, hello. At Papa Shrimp, when is the last time that you bought new couches? I guess these couches that I got last year when I moved back to Texas and I had an empty house that I was living in. I got these couches, thankfully, right before my surgery. So they were my, I was pretty much on the couch for a couple of months after that. But yeah, it was last year. Oh man, that's a tough question. What shrimp do you consider the best looking shrimp? Oof. It changes. It changes when I'm looking at them. It's that quick where it changes, and I'm like, ooh, that one's my favorite shrimp. And then I look at a different one, and I'm, ooh, that one's my favorite shrimp. So um, I like the red and white shrimps of any kind, to be honest. Those are my favorite. But also blue shrimps are my favorite. See, that's a tough question. It's not fair. Look, Mystery Snail Guardians. Hello. Hi, Annette. How you doing? Crown Tail. Woohoo. Good to see you. Stephen P. I have confusing and inappropriate feelings towards shrimp. I like that. That's funny. Let's see. I'm trying to catch up. Silver Creek, hello. Good to see you. Monster Fish Gal. Hello, Lori. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. I'm the best looking shrimp keeper. Oh, thank you. Want to go out on a date? I am single, you know. Um, I love them as pets, and they're delicious too. Yes, that's a plus. But these, I don't know. I don't think they're worth even trying to cook. Regular shrimp, you know, jumbo shrimp, not dwarf freshwater shrimp. Of course, if I had to, let's see. I saw Beta Aquatics. Did I miss it? Hello. Let's see who else. New local Austin. What's up, Shrimp Man? What's going on, brother? I'm still blushing over Crown Tail's comment. It must be an all-you-can-eat shrimp date. Okay. Or how about crabs? I love crab legs. That's my favorite. And honestly, that's my favorite date: crab legs and beer. Hint, hint. Ah, how funny. What did Joe say? You heard it, ladies. Jerry is single and his couches are only 1 year old. That's a good point. My couches are only 1 year old. Oh, that's funny. I have crabs. Thanks, Matt. I appreciate it. Good wingman. Wait. Click the wrong one. Yes, I love crab legs. My favorite. I haven't had them in forever, but it got to the point to where I was eating them so much that it became much cheaper to just buy them at the grocery store. And especially when they had them like for $5 a pound, I'd go get like 5 pounds and throw them in a broiler pot. Mmm, fresh. Good stuff. Good stuff. So, anyways, now that we got 37 people in here, I got most of the hellos out. If I missed anybody, I'm so sorry. Hello, hello. Thank you for joining. I want to talk about what happened with my tank. This one in particular, right behind me. And it almost happened overnight in a sense that I started seeing a little bit of algae and then it kind of I don't know how to describe it. I pulled one of the plants out that was the main contributor to it, which I had brought over from another tank. And it was clean when I had brought it over. At least I thought. So, um, secret crab recipe. That's you'll have to find out. There you go. Keep you hanging. But it came. I had this piece of cholla wood that had some trident, Java fern. It had some Java moss, and it had a bulbitus plant all attached to it. And I brought it from another tank, hoping to help, you know, help the cycle because this is a fairly new tank and or setup. And that seemed to be the culprit. So at one point, I did take it out very carefully because I was worried about shrimplets. I knew there was buried shrimp and there was shrimplets in there. Took it out, washed it off, cleaned it as best as I could. I know take your plants out and wash them. Really? Well, yes. I don't want algae to bloom in my tank. Yeah, so I put it back in and it didn't help. Then I realized I had planaria because I started noticing shrimp here would disappear, or I'd find it dead like instantly, and I couldn't figure it out. But I found planaria, so I treated my tank, did a bunch of water changes. In the process, I'm pretty sure I disturbed the cycle, so the balance was way off. And then, of course, because I love shrimp, I like to look at them. And sometimes when I'm on the morning show and I get on there with Jess and I turn this thing on early in the morning, and then I have it on all day, 12, sometimes 14 hours a day. Well, there you go. So, how do you fix it? Especially when there's a lot of shrimp, there's more shrimplets in the tank than there are shrimp. That's kind of the problem that I had. And I went through it um, different scenarios as far as water changes, um, trying to manually get some of the hair algae out. Wait. Hold on. Older Bay, Old Bay and beer make great steam pot recipe for seafood. Yep, there you go. We're talking about the crab recipe. Okay. Um, yeah, so sorry about my tank. I know, me too. But it's one of those things that I, like I said, I'm greedy, I'm selfish, and I love shrimp. So I keep my light on too long. I could have probably fixed it if I had the right balance of plants. But again, I didn't want to introduce too much into the tank that might bring in algae or planaria or any of those other things, which it happened anyways. So, what did I do to fix it? Well, I know one thing is I'm going to change my light schedule. That's definitely the problem there. The light that I have on it currently is not programmable. I mean, it could be if I added the little it's a night crew light, so it's not, I have to get the little dimmer separately if I want to run it that way. So I'm going to switch it out with one of my Phoenix 24/7 plant lights that's dimmable, and I can actually program the brightness so that way it doesn't get too bright like I used to have in my other fish room. All of those 20 gallons had Phoenix 24/7s. So I didn't run across algae problems like I'm having now. Plus, I did a quick setup and I've been lazy and haven't used my timers. So, yeah, it's all manual. Everything is manual, click, click, click. And like I said, depending on what I do and when I turn them off and when I turn them off and on, that affects everything greatly. So, I highly recommend timers because that takes away that issue. You don't have to introduce your lighting. If you're steaming them just enough to keep it from going dry, probably 2 to 3 bottles worth would do it. You're still handing out recipes. Hey, there's S.C. Catahulas. Hello. Good to see you. Not dimmable. Only so dim one can get before it's just off. Good to see you, Geek Boy. But yeah, so lighting definitely could be an issue. And then when you run across stuff like, treating for planaria, and maybe you have snails that die off, maybe you have some ammonia spikes, and you have just some imbalances that you have to deal with in the water column itself. That plays a part in it. So I'm guilty of all of these things. I really am. And especially the way I tried to set up this tank and maintain it or manage it, that's a big contributor to these kinds of problems that we're facing. So, you know, You know me, keep it shrimple. I like to share, especially when I make mistakes. And this is a huge one that I think everybody could benefit learning something from, because we all fall into it sometimes, and we forget that all of the things that we could do to make our life simpler when managing our aquariums, that would we'd have less problems, all the way around. uh, I know this. I know this better than anybody. I've learned the hard way so many times, but yet here I am doing it again because I was impatient. And that's the God honest truth. Impatience is a terrible thing. And I was impatient. So, yeah, that probably led to a lot of my own issues and why we had what we had. Chili beans. Ugh, what are y'all talking about food for? You're going to make me hungry. Let's see. Hi, Dee Dee. Just wrote you a letter to go in the box. I'll send it in a bit. Fish Fam Christmas prize. I had fun thinking about you. You always bring a smile on my face. Aw. Man, my shrimp tank's currently experiencing a hair algae explosion too. It always happens to me when the seasons change. That's interesting. The different temperatures. You think that has something to do with it? Or maybe because, like, for me, when time change happens, you wake up different, you go to bed differently, and you turn your lights off and on differently. Again, without timers, you're prone to those mistakes accidentally. I've done it before, fall asleep, and I left my aquarium light on all night long. So, what are the things we can do to fix that? Well, timers help. Even if it's the plugs with the timers. I have one sitting in the other room, just sitting there for me to use, and I could have made life easier on myself and set that up. But no, shame, shame. I didn't. I let things distract me. And yes, the only way to learn is to make mistakes. I just torture myself because I make them often. And sometimes I do it on purpose because I'm trying to see. And then I want to figure out how to correct it. And sometimes it doesn't go too well. Sometimes it goes just fine. Sometimes I get lucky and I can set up an aquarium and voila, boom, no issues. Well, except a couple. But, shrimp needs to sleep too. I know, ground tail. Um, but it's just one of those things that definitely, those little things can make a difference. And I can only imagine when people have multiple aquariums and racks. And I know that even in my other fish room, when I had 30 some odd aquariums, there was always one or two aquariums here or there that were giving me problems when the other ones right next to it weren't. And it was very confusing. But I learned from that experience that it was the water. So that's why everything uses RODI water, and I remineralize from there. Just makes it so much easier for me. Keystone Clash, hello. How you doing? Random person behind the profile. Yes, the Wi-Fi timers work amazing. And that's what we had at Jadron Aquatics, was all Wi-Fi stuff, and he had it on the tablet. Um, so everything would turn on automatically. And yeah, they're great. Those help a lot. Not overfeeding helps a ton. Having just the correct balance of plants and stuff. And again, sometimes, especially shrimp breeders, when you're trying to keep it clean with just maybe a couple of moss balls here or there, or a couple of boost plants, nothing too crazy, then yeah, you have to find that right balance of lighting and timing of that light to help, because you want a healthy type of algae to grow and not necessarily hair algae. I prefer when it's hair algae because it's easier to manually remove. And that's where I am now, is that I've been manually removing it. And let me go ahead and see if that video has loaded. And while I'm, what? Oh man, I uploaded the wrong thing. I think. Yep, it looks like I uploaded the wrong thing.
I love shrimp. Who else loves shrimp? I love shrimp. Who else loves shrimp?
Well, while I'm there, let me see. I'll do it this way then. Just share it directly from my computer. Hopefully this doesn't get all jittery. There's no audio on it. I just wanted to have video. So this is what I was facing. All right. To me, that's pretty blech. And I know you can't see too much. There's a little baby shrimplet right there. I don't know if you can see any more, but I just kind of wanted to show I have all of this work that I did on trying to make it look cool, and it kind of got wasted by the algae. Yeah, I like algae too, and not when it encases your mosses or even your plants, because then it starts choking them out. I'm not a perfectionist. But you can see here, I pulled out everything. Here's the Sawasser tank. I put it in a separate 1 gallon cube, and I'm going to black it out for a while. But I have so many shrimplets still, and this is after I removed all of the driftwood and Sawasser tank. Later, Metalhead. Have a good one. I know, I'm hungry. Everybody is talking about food, so now I'm hungry. I'm going to end the stream short. No, I'm just kidding. While I'm playing this, I know what I'll do. I'll do this and let y'all kind of see. You can see how I'm just moving stuff around, taking stuff out, getting things kind of cleaned up. I even took out all of that giant willow moss. I think in the next portion of the clip, I think you'll see that it's been removed. So I know it's hard to tell, but I pulled everything out with tongs so that I wouldn't pull any baby shrimplets out. And I was very careful. And then I pulled out about 4 gallons of water and refilled it. So let's see here. If you can see, I kind of did some work on getting as much off of the walls, getting as much of the algae off of the plants, the substrate. But again, everything I did was manual. I didn't use a gravel vac or anything like that because of how many shrimplets there are scattered all over this tank. There's probably 60 or so shrimplets at least, but they're scattered everywhere. I recommend, because I use it, the fluval stratum. That's what I use because it's easily accessible. I want to start using some of the more premium stuff, but it doesn't work quite as good when you're in so much constant transition like I have been. To cycle a tank for 4 to 6 months is just not something that's within my time frame yet. I use carob sea sands, and yes, sometimes even in caridina tanks, I'll do a mix so that way I give them little patches of sand where they could actually, um, I don't mind putting sand in there, especially. I'm interested to try it with the under gravel filtration, but I'm afraid that it might choke it out a little bit. So there's the end of that. And I'll remove it and give you a live shot. Oh, there you go. I think it depends on your filtration and everything. Like I said, that's why I'm using some of those filter boxes with substrate in it because that I'm hoping will help stabilize the water and not so much um, the actual substrate, or using the under gravel filters and utilizing more surface area of the substrate to hopefully make it last longer and be more stable. So far, it's working. But here's what the tank looks like now. And yeah, you can see I still have work to do. Um, I want to try to see if you can see how many shrimplets there are. They're everywhere. Um, that tangerine tiger right there, she's so bright orange, and she has about a dozen shrimplet babies in there or berries. So yeah, and right now it's a mix. I have red panda, a black panda, shadow panda, some zebra pintos, couple of um, fish bones, red galaxy fish bones, some orange eye red tigers, blue steel, just a mixture of caridinas in this tank. All right, let me do this. Come back over here. Can you do a bare bottom tank with box or sponge filters? Yes. I just don't do well with. I haven't tried it yet myself. A bare bottom tank with a box filter. I want to. I think that's my next little experiment. I'm using the box filter in this tank over here, but it does have substrate. But I believe if you use a box filter with substrate in it, then you don't really need to have a substrate and you can get away with the bare bottom tank with caridinas. What is the reasoning for 4 to 6 months aging a tank? If you blast it with highlight to get algae going and inoculate with microfauna, would it be the same in 2 to 3 weeks? On some of the substrates that have a really high content of ammonia in them, it takes that long to get that ammonia cycling properly. And yes, you can speed it up using the bacterias and get the algae going. Um, but I've seen where it does take a while, especially with just a tank full of substrate and lights. Maybe you don't even really have much moss until after it starts cycling better. So for me, using the high end substrates, it takes a good amount of time to cycle. It's not for me. Not at this point. I want to do that when I have a setup that I know I'm going to be in for longer than a few months or a year or whatever the case may be. So I have to get to that point, and then I will experiment with various different things. But I use fluval stratum with great success, and it hasn't It hasn't done me wrong. It used to not be as long lasting as it is now, but I've used it long enough to where I have a lot of faith in it. I'll just put it that way. I'm comfortable with it. It may not be for others, and I know there's other substrates I've used Brightwell, and I had no issue with it. I used aqua soil or contra soil. I had no issues with it, and I liked the coloring on it. So yeah, woohoo! I love the questions. What age do female shrimp become mature to give shrimplets? That's a good question, but I think they start younger than we think. I believe in a good environment, already stable environment, I believe it's within 3 months you should start seeing results. That's what I would think. How long? It depends. In this tank, the tangerine tiger female was buried. She dropped her berries. As soon as she dropped her berries, I put her in this breeder box. Oh, I forgot. I got some shrimp in here I want to show you too. I put them in this breeder box, and as soon as she molted, I grabbed the male out of the tank, put him in the breeder box because I saw that she was saddled as well, and she got buried up again. But it's also, hey, Lacree. Hi, Lisa. Y'all need to go check out her channel. She's badass artist. Um, Squirrel. Anyways, so yeah, I put the male in there. She got buried up instantly, and that was the situation where I noticed that she was losing her berries. Every day I looked in there, I could see her losing her berries. When I tested my water, it only had 83 TDS. So I immediately added some GH plus, and she's held on to those berries since. So I had concluded through my mistake of too many water changes trying to keep up with the algae bloom that I let the TDS get too low, not enough minerals in the water column. She lost her berries. That sounds so funny to say. Shrimp for aquaponics. I believe they'd work in an aquaponic system. I do. Losing berries is horrible. Yes, it is. Um, but it was a valuable lesson learned. And like I said, I got caught up in chasing after the algae bloom and also trading for planaria. So I was making sure that I didn't want ammonia spikes, and I didn't want to change the water too much to mess up the parameters, but I did anyways. And I noticed it when she was losing her berries. So that's how much I rely on paying attention to what's going on in my tank, sometimes too much and not testing enough. I have that much confidence in my ability to look, that sometimes I get, I guess, arrogant, cocky, and I make mistakes. So shame on me, but I own it. That's what I'm all about. I own it and I share it so that way, hopefully, you don't make the same mistakes that I do. I had to eye my mineral this morning that nobody penned doing my head in. Oh, awesome. Thank you, Lori. Lacree Fine Arts. I also have her description in my, or I have her link in my description below. what what all do you regularly test for with freshwater? Um, for me, I try to keep it as simple as possible, but if you have a master test kit for freshwater, you're testing your pH, your GH, your nitrates, nitrites. And what's the other one? What's the other one? Ammonia. Here, I'll make it easy. On my test strips, I have nitrate, nitrite, chlorine, total hardness, GH, total alkalinity, and carbonates, carbonates, KH, and pH. That's like the gold standard of things you test for in your tank on a freshwater system. I know it's totally different on the saltwater stuff, and you're going to have to teach me, Lisa, so that way I can have some sexy shrimp. I want some sexy shrimp in my tanks. Well, at least one tank. I'd love to have some sexy shrimp. They're so cute. Uh-oh. Second part of question. What's reproduction lifespan of females? Do you rest females between broods? See, I'm not to the point yet to where I'm purposely doing anything like that, except for this one time where I've done that, where I put her in as soon as I saw her saddled and molten, put the male in there, and she got buried up immediately. But normally I let them just go. And I will pull out, if there's too many males compared to females, I will pull out those males, put them in the separate breeder box or something, so that way the females just aren't getting attacked every time they molt with saddle. Hey, Daniken, the test strip I recommend is this one because I'm colorblind. This is the best one for me. For whatever reason, I can actually read this one. And it's called Aquarium Test Strip 7-in-1. Very basic, very simple. Nothing fancy. And I've had this now for like 3 months. What do you do to get rid of seed shrimp? I added 4 guppy fry to eat them in my red crystal shrimp tank. Red cherry shrimp or red crystals. Yeah, I do guppy fry. They seem to work really well. Also, clown killifish do a good job. I'm trying different ways of doing it without actually putting the fish in the tank, especially with so many shrimplets in my tanks. But if they're mature shrimp, I'll throw in even full size fish and not have any worries. Well, guppies, not some big cichlid or anything like that. Start using them strips. Thanks, June. Appreciate that. Hold on. Don't call me out like that. That ain't right. No, I love it. Yeah, embrace the seed shrimp. That's one of the things that if your tank's full of seed shrimp, your tank's healthy, your water's healthy. You know, it means that all those little things can live, little critters. Yes, they're unsightly, and I get it. But sometimes I'll do that too. I'll put a little breeder box on the side of the tank and put it on a high volume. Make sure you have a lid, but put it on high volume and it'll suck those seed shrimp in there. And then I put fish in the breeder box so that they can eat them. There's all kinds of different little things you can do. I cheat doing stuff like that. I might be able to do that. It's hard on some shrimp if they're like the solid caridinas that you can't see through. It's very difficult. But the tangerine tigers, you can see their molts or their saddles just like you can on neocaridinas, on most neocaridinas. It takes on average between 27 to 33 days for them to go through a molt cycle. I think they molt a little bit faster when they're shrimplets. I think quite a bit faster when they're shrimplets. That's why having the correct pH and having the correct TDS and minerals in your water column, I think all of that helps the little shrimplets go through, because they go through a quicker molting process because they grow pretty fast. I think people hate them because they just look unsightly. And when you especially like when you get into a shrimp only tank, those things that you never saw before in a regular aquarium that had fish, now they're popping up everywhere. And they're like, "Ooh, what's this thing?" And, what is this? It looks like a little bitty miniature butterfly. And this thing that looks like a seed. There's all kinds of different things that, the ostracods, or, all of the different little pods and isopods or whatever. You find them in shrimp only tanks, and sometimes it does become unsightly. I had thought about that. I had a tank that had a bunch of seed shrimp in it that I was thinking, maybe I should just harvest the seed shrimp, you know. But nah, I got too many other things I'm trying to do. Fun fact, I've been raising seed shrimp and they love apples apparently. I had about 150 on one apple slice today. Oh, wow. Use the turkey baster to suck up a bunch of seed shrimp and feed them to your fish tanks. Free food. Yep. Hey, look. All right, Rob, throw it out there. What fish eats them? Like I said, it depends. I find that some of the times the guppy fry, when they're too small, they have a hard time with them. Um, but the guppies will do it, and I know that the clown killifish will do it. But I don't keep a lot of different fish. I imagine if I had, my kata punks in a tank, they take care of them. They take care of scuds. I know that. I know that my German rams take care of snails. So unless they're huge snails, there's no snails in my German ram tank. Um, there's a bloom of them seed shrimp going, and I've got newborn shrimpies. They should be all right. I mean, like I said, you could do it the manual way, and I've done it before where it's just like, okay, I want to reduce the colony of seed shrimp in my tank, and I'll make sure that when I do my vacuuming of the water, that I intentionally catch the seed shrimp that are on the glass walls, or I'll hit the plants and knock them off and make sure that I'm catching only seed shrimp and no shrimp. But yeah, I've done it various ways. Uh, Hang on box filters with the stainless steel screens, if you get the right size, works great for the smaller seed shrimp. It'll get them out. Um, I used to do that too. Various different ways, but I kind of like to just keep a balance. CPDs, there you go. Unless you are breed shrimp for profit, you can keep fish with your shrimp. What I do is provide rock piles in the tank to give shrimp shank. Yep, exactly. No snails in your Oscar tanks. Oh, there you go. Baddis. I love scarlet baddis. They're such cool little fish. There you go. That's another way to do it too. Drop an apple slice in your tank. Watch the seed come to it. You could build a little trap if you wanted to. You'd found shrimp in the Oscar tanks. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. So, sometime in the near future, we're going to have a Fish Fam Christmas thing going on. And I did sign up again this year. So we should be getting a random visit on one of the streams between the time that it's happening. There will be a Fish Fam Christmas visit from Santa. So we can all look forward to that. I run plecos in with my shrimp. Oh, yeah, that's what I wanted to show you guys. Let me see if I can do this. I'll pull this over here and disconnect this because I don't need it anymore. I know, only got a few minutes left, but I kind of want to show you this. So here, I'm going to stop camera so I don't make everybody sick. Move. That's heavy. All right, let's see if I can get a good picture. Dun, dun, dun. Let me get off this. So this is a 9-gallon tank. I have PBLs in this tank, as you could see there. I also have longfin blue eye lemon plecos that I got from Gary's Fish Room. And it's full of plants, driftwood, some wassertang, some Java moss, what do you call it? Rotala indica, some, it's not Waluigi, it's the other one, Ambulia. I have a water, not Sprite, water wisteria plant. I have some Pagastomus, whatever, octopus, stellatus, Pagostemon stellatus, I think is what it is. And then some pearlweed. Not my typical setup as far as, keeping it shrimple so that way I can catch shrimp and, sell them. This one is pretty much just, again, like one of my personal, this is the way I like my tanks to look. I don't want to be grabbing shrimp out from this tank a whole bunch. I just want to have a nice, pretty planted tank. And I have had 0 algae issues with this tank. It's beautiful. So this is one of those things. Do I have the right balance, the right water parameters? What is it about this tank? Did I get lucky? Because sometimes that happens too. You just get lucky and you have a tank, you set it up, and it's like magic. This one's kind of that way. Yeah, it's balanced out. That's kind of what I thought. I think it's the right balance of plants so that way the various nutrients that each plant requires or moss is just right. Because there's only one thing in this tank that I don't like, unless if anybody can see back there. Does anybody recognize what that stringy, knotty stuff is? Algae means excess nutrients and light, right? Yes. Photobomb pleco. Yeah, I know, right? Bladderwort. Very good. It is bladderwort. Now, I need to get rid of it. I've been wondering why I have not been seeing as many shrimplets in this tank as I would expect to have. And I think it's because bladderwort. It might not be. It might have been because I did have a planaria outbreak in this tank as well, but I treated it and I've had no issues since. Yeah, bladderwort is a carnivore plant. Interesting fact, isn't that? Hold on. So I never knew that bladderwort was a carnivorous plant. In fact, when I'd go to the aquarium store that I'd go to, um, when I'd look for the plants, I'd look for the plants that had it on it because I thought it was a cool looking plant. Little did I know. Um, yeah. Ah, thanks, Rob. Yes, it is. And again, I got it from Gary's Fish Room. I have two of those long tail. Oh, duh. Turn the camera back on, Jerry. But I have two of those long tail plecos, lemon blue eye plecos. And, Gary told me when he brought them over here, because he delivered them over here. And he told me, he was like, I keep all my plecos in hard water. So far, nobody's been able to keep them in soft water. And I slowly transitioned them in. Uh, I had a hard water tank that I slowly just diluted it with soft water, actually pure RODI water. And slowly but surely, they had no issues. And now I have them in this tank. I'm thinking about putting a couple in this tank. I have two snowball or snow white plecos. Oh, they're so pretty. And I'm thinking about putting them in this tank, but I don't know if they're going to mess around. I don't know if those plecos are messing around with the shrimplets. Yes, Lacree. Lacree has beautiful art. Make sure you guys got to check it out. If you have an Aquashella badge, look at it. She did that artwork. Okay, that's the best way for a lot of you that's been to an Aquashella. Just look at the badge, and that's her artwork. Am I right, Lisa? Question from the peanut gallery: how do you keep shrimp out of the back of that flex tank? Good catch. One thing I do is I put enough substrate so that way I cover up the back vent and the little bitty hole that's in there. Probably not supposed to do that, but I do. Put enough substrate to cover up the bottom vent. That I also have carbon, or not carbon, but filter fiber in it. And I put it inside the little cover that goes over the vent hole. And then I put enough substrate to cover that. On the top, I also have filter fiber in the little cover that goes over the vent, but it doesn't always catch the shrimplets. So I do at periodic times go to the back, and if there's any shrimplet in the back, I catch them and bring them back out to the front. Something I've learned after using the flex tanks, they will get back there. I do it by not putting shrimp in flex tanks. I know, but I like the tanks. And when I had my Neos, I had a exactly like this setup that was a little shrimp factory. And a matter of fact, that one 9-gallon tank is what spawned the 27 tanks I ended up having in my bedroom full of Neos. From that one tank. It was a shrimp factory. It was crazy. I remember emailing Rob at Flip Aquatics. I'm like, dude, what you sent me in these shrimps? It's like they don't stop making babies. It was incredible. So, yeah, I know. That's why I also now have more tanks that are not flex. And like, I'd love to use that, especially that setup. I'd love to use it for some clown killifish because I think they do well in that tank, but the flow is too much. All right, later vibes. Have a good one. Oh, everybody's taking off. I know. I'm running over. I never noticed plecos messing with shrimp at all. Great job converting them to soft water. Thanks, Gary. Lori, can you repost art link, please? Can't scroll up. Ah, there you go. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. Sorry if I ran a little bit long. I know everybody's got things to do. I'm hungry myself, so have a good one. We'll see you again next week. I love shrimp. And yeah, have a good one. Peace. Clickety click.